Round 10. Starting the same way with chain 4 and 2 trebles into the same space. Chain 4, skip next space and single crochet into the next space. Now work 2 times. Chain 4 and single crochet into the next space. So that was the first time, and one more time. Okay, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip next space and work a shell into the old shell. As usual, 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles into that chain 2 space. Chain 4, single crochet into the next space, chain 6, single crochet into the next space, and now mirror back with chain 4 and shell on top of the old shell. So 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles into that chain 2 space. So starting with the chain 4 here, continue in pattern around. And it's becoming a little difficult to see where the round starts, so I'm just going to put a stitch marker here. And when you are done repeating in pattern for the whole round, don't forget to end it with a half double crochet into that 4th chain stitch of your first treble to replace our chain 2 space. Round 11. Chain 4, 2 trebles into the same space. Chain 4, skip first space, single crochet into the next space, chain 4, single crochet into the next space, chain 4, skip next space, shell into the old shell, then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet into the next space. Now work 2 spaces of chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and single crochet into the next space. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And single crochet into the next space, and then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and work our usual shell on top of the old shell with 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles. So if you see, well, we have the flower here, that these two are closing, and here we create spaces and they are expanding. Repeat from the chain 4 around in pattern and close the round the same way as the previous one. Round 12. Start the same way with chain 4, 2 trebles into this same space. Chain 4, skip next space, single crochet into the next space. Chain 4, skip next space, shell into the old shell. Our shell is always 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles into the chain 2 space. Chain 4, single crochet into the next space. Now have 3 spaces of chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet into the next space, that's 1 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet into the next space, that's 2nd time. And then 1 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet into the next space, and that's the 3rd time. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and work our usual shell into the old shell. 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles into this chain 2 space. Okay, that's what you have. The round starts here, and then repeat from chain 4, the single crochet chain 4, and all around till the end, ending it with a half double crochet into this 4th chain stitch with the 1st treble. Round 13. Begin the same way as the previous ones with chain 4 and 2 trebles into this same space. Chain 1, skip next 2 spaces and work 3 trebles into the next chain 2 space. So this time only 3 trebles. We're not working our usual shell here. See how our flower has closed? All right. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Single crochet into the next space here. And work 4 times. Chain 6 and single crochet into the next space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet into the next space. That's 1 time. 1 2 3 4 5 6, single crochet into the next space, that's second time. 1 2 3 4 5 6, single crochet into the next space, third time. And one more, 1 2 3 4 5 6, single crochet into the next space, that's fourth time. Chain 4, 1 2 3 4, and work 3 trebles into the next chain 2 space. Now you're ready to repeat from the chain 1 the whole section around. So I reached the end of the round, and after the last chain 4, slip stitch into the 4th chain stitch of your first treble. I don't know how about you, but I am tired of this stitch pattern, so I am switching to a new stitch pattern. And I want to show you the new stitch pattern in my other sample of the dress. This is what we're going to work. It's not difficult at all. We're going to continue where the shells were. We're going to continue with this new kind of shell. And where the spaces were, we're also going to work spaces, except that in these spaces there will be a cluster of 2 trebles. This stitch pattern requires only a repeat of 2 rows or 2 rounds. From now on, you can switch to 1.75 millimeter hook, because I will be working the dress, the skirt part of the dress with this hook. Round 14. Slip stitch into the next treble, because we want to start this round into this middle stitch of the 3. Chain 1, this is not counted, single crochet into this same stitch. You can put a stitch marker in here just so you know where your round begins. Chain 3, 1 2 3. Now skip the next treble, next chain 1 space, next treble, and single crochet into the next stitch. You want to have a symmetry. You started into this middle stitch and you have a single crochet into the next middle stitch of the 2 sections of trebles. Chain 3 and work a front post treble around this single crochet, around your next single crochet, this one. Like this. Okay. Chain 3 and single crochet into your next space. Chain 3. Now we have to work a cluster out of 2 trebles. We're gonna have to work the cluster into the single crochet stitch. So first you work 1 unfinished treble and then work the second unfinished treble. Finish the cluster, chain 3 and single crochet into the next space here. So that was the first time. So 2 more times. Chain 3, cluster out of 2 trebles into the next single crochet stitch. So first unfinished treble, second unfinished treble, we form the cluster, and then chain 3, single crochet into the next space. And 1 more time. One, 2, 3, that was a chain 3, and then 2 treble cluster into the next single crochet stitch, chain 3 and single crochet into the next space. So you basically worked 3 spaces, but with a cluster inside this space. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, work front post treble around the next single crochet stitch. So how do we do the front post? You go with the hook into this first space and then around the single crochet into the next space. Bring the yarn forward or in front of you and just work the treble stitch. Chain 3, skip the next space, skip the next treble and single crochet into the next treble. And we've arrived again at the beginning of our repeat. You have to repeat again from the chain 3 here all the way to this single crochet here. So repeat around. Okay, so I just worked my last front post treble here, and I'm supposed to have a chain 3 space. Instead, I'm not gonna end the round here, but I need to end it right here. So for the last step of the treble, undo that. Have 2 loops on your hook, and then 2 yarn overs on your hook, and work a treble into the single crochet that you started the round with. So let's do this once, twice, and third time. Here we're finishing on top of this front post treble. So from now on, our rounds will start in this point all the time, so we can move the stitch marker here. Round 15. I started it just to show you what we're going to have. Our round will start with a shell that is created of 5 clusters of 2 trebles, and in between them there are 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces of chain 3. And then we're going to create our spaces. We're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces with the clusters inside. So this is all the repeat for this round, but I'm gonna show you now how to work this. All right where we left off in round 14, right here, chain 1 and single crochet into the same stitch right here. Okay, now skip the next space, which is this, and into the next space work the shell that is composed of, okay, work like this, cluster of 2 trebles. So first unfinished treble, second unfinished treble, form the cluster, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Repeat this step 3 more times. So again, cluster, chain 3, again cluster, chain 3, and one more time, cluster, and chain 3, and the last cluster into this same space. Done. This is our new shell for this stitch pattern repeat. All right, skip next space, which is this one, okay, and work a single crochet into the next front post treble. followed by those 4 spaces with clusters inside. So chain 3, cluster into the next single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the next cluster, again chain 3, cluster into the next single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the next cluster, again 1 2 3, cluster into the next single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the next cluster. So even though in the pattern it is said to work this thing 4 times, the last repeat will have the single crochet into the front post treble, okay, not in the cluster. So 1 2 3, then we work cluster into the next single crochet, and we end it with chain 3 and single crochet in the next front post treble stitch. That is all that you have to repeat for this round, and we'll end it with a slip stitch after the last chain 3. You'll end with a slip stitch into this single crochet stitch at the beginning. I ended round 15 with a slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch. Round 16, chain 3, front post treble around the single crochet stitch of the previous round. Chain 3, skip first space, single crochet into the next space, chain 3, single crochet into the next space, chain 3, skip next space, front post treble around the next single crochet, which is right here. Chain 3, single crochet into the next cluster. Now work the spaces with clusters 3 times. So chain 3, cluster into the next single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the next cluster. That was the first time. Again, chain 3, cluster into the next single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet into the next cluster. That was the second time. One more, chain 3, cluster into the next single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the next cluster, chain 3, and front post treble around the next single crochet, which is here. So this front post treble is actually the first one that we worked in the beginning, like this one. So now you're ready to repeat around in pattern. When you're at the end of your round, slip stitch into the front post treble. So you basically ignore that chain 3. That one doesn't count. Rounds 17 to 24. You have to repeat rounds 15 and 16 4 more times. So 15 and 16, that will be a pair. So you repeat the pair 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you have done that, you're ready to start the skirt, and that will be in next part. Thanks for watching.